I'm gonna ask y'all what you think she doing. Gonna eat some fries.
When the guys put a fear, yeah, bone range.
Hey, she getting one of my girls, man. Look at her.
What a little kid, though. Bone on the range.
What you think?
That's all I want. You should let me get this one. That book's in there. That's in the top drawer. Oh, did they crack you up, Veronica? Huh? Oh, did they crack Veronica up? Then I think they couldn't be. They were for kids. And it's in her to death. It's in the belly. Just a laughing. Why is everybody in our family then the most notable thing is their head?
That's what I like to know.
Look, she didn't look at everybody else.
They one day they put a few eyes on Bob.
I'm watching.
For Charles to forget stuff.
They don't believe in things. Daddy must be trying to convince him to walk out in the water.
You know when you're trying to braid, you can't swim a lick.
You two were doing it very well? Look at her. It's pretty though, but it's not appropriate. They took it on a bright outfit. They went out there and they on their shoes. He must be tired. He's coming in the land.
getting brave now.
Woo. Innocent.
Brittany still has to be convinced. And CJ, look at him. CJ said, I'm interested in this dirt. Just leave me alone.
Little girl in the day.
Well, I got this thing in there.
Yeah, but that's right. I just want to call. I told him to wrap my baby up now, so that makes me hot. Should have known she was gonna wrap my baby up in the
It's a big, it's a wrap all around and that's a little one.
That's not a little one.
Usually tastes better when taking cheddar cheese away. So add a little cheddar cheese and add a lot of taste. Yeah, cheese makes all the difference.
Wait. You recording?
I was putting in a lot of late hours at the office. Pressure was really getting them.
Ooh, Liz. Mom. That's right, Mom. There you go. That's what we want. Let's get a close-up. Throw that head back, Mom. Throw that head back. Oh, boy. Oh, God. That's the teenager Daddy married. Okay, where's Daddy? Look at her, okay, Dad. Daddy won't look around.
Joe, Bronco, what is this?
What are you doing right there?
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. What?
I'm gonna start heading up. Come back.
Okay. My son and my husband. Oh, there's his hat, his brand new hat. Oh well.
Where's the passes? See him?
Dad. Dad. What?
Take one with Daddy. Yeah. Mom, you just hit it. Mom. Come here. Oh, come on, make it bigger. Come here. Come here. Hey. I'm not going to show you.
Where you got straight? Are you taking Brandon?
Huh?
Are you?
There you go. Let me focus on that. The stomach. 1 month before pregnancy. Before labor. Boy or girl, Veronica? Look at the stomach. Look at it.
Brand? How you do it?
Yes.
Hey, Cynthia.
Totally hidden video.
Somebody get Brand in here.
Oh no, they got me.
Over this way.
Bob. Where's CJ? CJ, where are you? Ronnie wants to put you on film. There you go. CJ, wave.
CJ? Right now.
Come on, get on now. Yogi Bear.
CJ.
Yeah, green light go.
Hey.
Where you at?
Stay with CJ.
Mario Andretti and what's the new one? What's the young one? The new Hollywood one? Danny somebody. Danny Sullivan. Danny Sullivan and Mario Andretti.
Look at CJ Ryan. CJ and Bob Ryan.
Go on, Bob. Bob's manipulating. Still at home. That's why I wanted Brittany, because she's the best driver I know.
Turn your wheel all the way around and circle.
Bob is driving.
Your wheel.
I'm really impressed.
I know, look at it.
Turn your wheel. Circle. Turn your wheel. Turn your wheel.
All right, here comes Paula. Hey, Robert. Robert. He's doing real well. He's manipulating, Jack.
Turn your wheel.
He's just like, what is going on?
I'm sorry, but your ride is now over.
That's the trouble.
And enjoy the rest of your day here at Eastern.
Bobby.
Come on.
Bob. This way, honey. Bobby, here I am. Did you like that? All right. Bob, excuse me. Come on. Here we go. Did you like that? Thank you. Was that fun or what? Huh? You want to get, we will, in a few minutes we'll go to the other place.
You have fun, CJ? Did you talk to him now?
He can say everybody's name, tell him to say Pat.
Can you say Pat?
He's like a Polly Parrot now. He can speak. Yeah, he can say it. What? Look at, you can't leave your dad. There's your dad. You gotta find another ride to ride on. Don't walk in the water. You can drive, man. Boy, you were driving. That's because you got a power wheel at home. He was like, I'm not gonna sit in this traffic jam. I was really impressed. So when you run into those trees in the backyard, you do it on purpose. Yeah, sometimes he does. Oh, you see him. Sometimes he does just for the heck of it. For the heck of it. CJ was in the bumper car. Yes, he did. CJ was in the bumper car. You want to see the film? I got the film. Yeah. He and Bob were in the bumper car.
Bob was driving like he was in New York City, boy. You got it.
Yes, he was. I got it on film.
Bob drove the whole thing without hitting anybody.
Oh, you got it on film. Ain't you glad you bought it?
Where are you? Got work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Need help from you now. No, we got a mystery to solve. So Scooby-Doo, get ready for a ride. No more back. Scooby-Doo, if you come through, you know you'll have yourself a Scooby snack. Will you boo and hiss at it? Great, he hates that. Hey, why don't we get the...
Okay, all I want to do is say, hey, CJ, hi. Bob. Yeah, you ought to be around here.
Yeah, CJ. Wave, Bob, wave, Britt. There we go.
Move over, Kevin, so right you can
All right, y'all drive safely here. Don't be speeding here.
There you go. Bye, Kevin.
Hey, Edwin. Edwin, hold on the stick.
Bobby. Bobby, pull the stick.
what everybody already knows, Roscoe, and that is that mentally this kid is as tough as nails.
He is tough as nails. I mean, he hangs in there. If you give him a little bitty opening like Agassi did in the second set, there you see he's 18th. See the vital statistics on Michael Chang. He's from Placentia, California. His current rank is 24, but that'll be going up after this week. But he also showed yesterday that he's willing to open it up a bit, willing to be a little bit aggressive. He's willing to go for some shots, and that's the reason he was able to win.
On the way to this championship, finally got a bye in the first round as a result of being seeded. Then Brod Dyke of Australia, David Wheaton of the USA in straight sets. Agassi, it was a much tougher match for him, of course. And one of the things that I think was interesting about yesterday's match is, when we're still going back on it, when he got cramps in the third set, he was more aggressive to get the points over quickly, and that helped his efforts. Pete Sampras, as we said, is the number 5 seed. He has already won a tournament this year in Philadelphia. In fact, a couple of tournaments, but the big one was in Philadelphia. 18 years old, as we've already said. He's 6 foot. They were calling him a big man. He's not that big a guy, really, but he sure has a big game.
He has an awfully big serve, and it makes you feel like he's a lot bigger than he is. He does have a long reach. He has long arms. But one of the things about him, I think, is he's such a nice guy that sometimes I think he has to overcome the fact that he's only seen McEnroe on tennis court when he's on TV. And so he had to overcome that. Now, against Michael Chang, he won't have to do that because he's played against him all through the juniors. Matter of fact, they played each other in the finals of the national juniors when they were both 15.
It was in Kalamazoo, wasn't it? And then they had played since then. The last time they played was in last year, the Los Angeles round of 32. Then Chang got to the final of that tournament. Should have won it, actually, against Aaron Krickstein. But he lost it after winning the first set and being up 2 breaks in the second set. It was a straight set win the last time these two played, and you just wonder. After that match, the last time they played, Roscoe, Chang injured himself, so he was out for a while. This, to some extent, is still a comeback year for him. But boy, he's come back here with a vengeance.
He has come back here with a vengeance, but in between that last time they played and now, Sampras has won a tournament. So he won the U.S. Pro in Philadelphia. So both players, Chang now has a win that he never had before, in terms of beating Agassi yesterday, but Sampras has a tournament victory under his belt, and Sampras had to, I think, make a quick stop to the locker room, either to get some equipment or whatever, but he'll be right back. They are allowed to take just a short break.
We'll take a short break as well. That's interesting. Doesn't often happen. Once you're out there, you're there for good. But we'll come back with more from the Players Limited International in Toronto in a moment.
When the people at the Complete Car Cost Guide compared over 500 cars, they didn't burn any gasoline or wear out any tires. They analyzed economic performance, the cost to purchase versus the cost to own. The result? Only Volvo had 4 cars named the best overall value in their classes, which is the kind of performance few cars can compete with.
Every evening, we pack over 700,000 passengers onto our planes. No drinks are served, no meals are prepared, yet our customers love our service, like our UPS Next Day Air Letter. Guaranteed overnight delivery to any address coast to coast, and at just $9, far less than other companies charge. Set takeoff thrust. No one seems to mind that there's no in-flight movie.
Semi-final of the Canadian Open from Toronto, Pete Sampras and Michael Chang. Now, Sampras had to take a short break, as we told you before we went out. This is Steve Ulrich, who is in the chair for today's match. Sampras will start the match. Best of 3 sets. The winner to play either Jay Berger or Jakob Klasik in the final.
Interesting, in the first point, you see a little bit of impatience on the part of Michael Chang, who's going to be the guy that keeps the ball in play most of this match.
That's why, of course, he had cramps in the third set yesterday, Roscoe, as everyone knows by now. Wonder if that's going to affect him any today. That was a rhetorical question because I don't think it is. And remember the French Championships, he had those cramps against Lendl, and then he went on to win the thing. Of course, there was a day break between each match there because it was a Grand Slam. But
I think it can affect you when you get up to get out of bed the next morning, but once you're to the match, you've done all your warm-ups and stretching and all that sort of stuff, that you're okay.
Loosened up. 15 all. While you're looking for things that might affect the outcome of the match, Sampras's match with McEnroe, let's see, finished at probably 8 o'clock last night. So hasn't been that much of a rest period for him, but certainly enough. Players are often required to play into the night and then midday the next day.
Particularly if they're involved in the doubles event.
Michael
Chang working his way into net there, but it's interesting in the warm-ups before when they were on the practice courts, Michael Chang was out working with his brother and coach, Carl, and he had Carl hitting him nothing but approach shots, just attacking him and standing well inside the line and serving at him. And so I think Chang is prepared for Peter Sampras to be coming into net quite a bit today. And so far in this first game, though, Sampras is spending all the time at the baseline.
30 all. That is long. Big approach shot from Sampras there. I mean, talked about his all-court game, Roscoe. He really does have one. I mean, what impresses me is when the other guys on the tour say about a player, this guy can really play, and he's only 18 years old. And they say that about the man you're looking at.
They do. They've all said that his time is coming. It's just he's just developing.
Kim Prince has enjoyed the weather, I hope. A little warm down there, I suppose, Kim, but similarly, a similar day, rather, today from the last couple, isn't it?
Actually, Cliff, maybe even a bit more breeze, and some of that breeze has worked its way down here. Nowhere near as hot as it was yesterday, especially in that third set.
Deuce.
But then we've got some time for this sun to bake the hard court. It'll get hotter as the day wears on.
See a great match yesterday between Michael Chang and Andre Agassi. The one in the evening was equally dramatic as matches will be when they involve John McEnroe. But Pete Sampras won it in 3. And he has game point. And he used that big serve effectively against McEnroe last night too, and it helped him a great deal. The semi-final of the men's Canadian. We'll be back in a moment.
You know, all these young tennis stars nowadays.
Yeah, these teenage heartthrobs.
With their long hair.
And their loud music.
And their flashy colors. I don't know what it is about them. Personally, I prefer a man with a little more experience.
Which leads me to ask a simple question. And the question
eyes are so itchy, I can't think.
Tom? You okay, Tom?
When allergies come on this strong, Benadryl comes on stronger. See the dramatic conclusions of 2 major tennis tournaments. The Federation Cup, live. Plus the Men's Canadian Open. Sunday, beginning at noon Eastern on ESPN.
Pete Sampras has won the first game of the semi-final of the Canadian Open. He beat John McEnroe last night. Do you feel sorry for John McEnroe? I wonder. What do you think, Kim?
Well, Cliff, I don't know about you, but last night when Pete won, I actually felt a little bit sorry for John. I almost felt sorry, but not quite, for a couple of reasons. The first is that if John wants to, he can still get back in the top 10. If he pays the price that Lendl has, he can move on up. The second is he still has those same old demons in his head. He threw a major league fit when a woman was fanning herself. And then number 3, well, natural selection at work. Pete Sampras, a young, strong player with a good racket, a new vibration-free racket, has made his mark. And that's another point. As we look at this match, bear in mind that McEnroe was great when he played with Wood, but going downhill since then. So there are other reasons, too. We'll touch on those as the afternoon runs on. Cliff?
Thank you very much, Kim. It is interesting to speculate about the future of John McEnroe, isn't it? Here may be the future of American tennis, though. Sampras and Chang. Chang serving, trailing 1-0.
A little taste right there of all the different things that Pete Sampras can do. He's played the baseline, now he moves into the net, and watch the feel that he has at the net. See this ball. This is a very difficult shot, and he knows he's playing against one of the fastest guys in the game, and if he doesn't hit that perfect, Chang's going to be all over it.
There's a good example of another point I was making about McEnroe. That racket can do things that the old Wood racket couldn't do. And, of course, with Pete Sampras and Michael Chang, 18 years old, the natural selection process is at work. They really train hard. They're strong, young athletes playing with good equipment.
Love 30.
And that good equipment has blunted some, I think, of McEnroe's artistry. And then finally, when you look at a couple of 18-year-olds, to the business about youthful irreverence. Well, John brought new meaning to that term when he came on the stage. And last night, Pete Sampras gave him some of his own. Did not cave in when it got tight in the third set.
15-30.
Sampras moves in a little bit. I'll tell you.
Game point.
When you think of Sampras as a serve and volley player, and then you see this, and he can do anything he wants. Watch him. He's moving Chang around the court, very similar to the way Agassi was moving him yesterday. This is a huge forehand down the line there. It's a very difficult shot. Now he gets back in the middle of the court, drills this ball. Michael Chang can only look at it.
Oh, yeah. 30-40. Still break point for Sampras.
That's almost the exact shot that he had his brother hitting to him, that Chang had his brother hitting to him before the match started out on the side court. So he's prepared for that. The approach shot's going to have to be better. It's going to have to be deeper.
Well, he's not so little, is he, in terms of tennis world. He's just has so much talent as you watch this replay. Now look at Sampras. He has to make a move to try to cover the down the line, and Chang just puts it right back to where he was. Deuce. And Chang. This is game point.
You can see Michael Chang moving around the court. He lifts himself all the way off the ground when he hits the ball, almost on every shot. There he's being a nice guy, saying, I'm sorry, but I'm sure that he wouldn't have it any other way. But always say sorry, but you love it.
But I'll take it. Then it's Chang. Deuce. Put this whole thing in perspective, if you exclude Brad Gilbert, who is older, in the top 10, of course, and Tim Mayotte, who's in a similar position. He's in the top 20 in the world, but you know, they're closing in on the 30s. And if you exclude Michael Chang and Andre Agassi, well, then Sampras is in the next field of players of the USA. That will be the future of the sport. In fact, Sampras is the best of that crop, in my opinion, along with Jim Courier. Then you have Jim Grab not far behind, David Wheaton, Richie Renneberg. All in the top 50. Game point change.
And Cliff, just to wrap a ribbon around that commentary on John McEnroe, I think as McEnroe would be the first to tell you, albeit in a wry way, after he lost to Sampras, what goes around comes around. And John's not feeling sorry for himself either, so there's no reason that we should. I think he's had a wonderful day in the sun, many, many days in the sun, and he's getting used to a bit of the shade now, like the rest of us.
Tim, I know you want to wrap the ribbon around that commentary. It's difficult to do so, though, having said all of those eloquent things that you said about McEnroe. Here's a man who is not at peace with himself yet, and I don't think we should leave our viewers with that feeling, because he still has those demons that you talk about that haunt him and that just will not let die. Or at least go to rest.
Well, it's what made him so great. It's a rage for perfection, and that, you know, as a poet once said, you rage against the darkness. You know, you don't go quietly into the night if you're John McEnroe. And I don't think anybody expects him to, and part of the charm is that he's not going to. So I'm glad that Pete Sampras won. But McEnroe, he'll be hanging around for a while.
1 game all, 15 all.
Pete Sampras is beginning to get his first serve in a great deal more here, and that's what he's going to have to do, because he's really, his game, the way he can win is to get to the net. And he's got to get to net on shots that Michael Chang can't set up to hit. If he allows Michael Chang to set up for passing shots, then he's going to get past. So what he's going to do is be aggressive, get first serves in. Chang loves to have targets to pass.
You're exactly right, Roscoe. He's got to make that serve work for him, because if you get into a prolonged baseline rally with Chang, anything that requires a lot of mental effort and stamina, and you're in trouble, because there's nobody stronger in that department than when you're looking at Chang.
I think also when he's playing at the baseline there, he did hit booming first serve in, but I think when he's playing at the baseline, he does get stuck back there. He doesn't want to let himself get pushed way behind the baseline, because then when Chang does hit the short ball that would give him the opportunity to come in net on a good approach shot, he'll be too far back to capitalize on it. So he's got to stay up closer to that baseline, and so far he's been content to be too deep.
Sampras holds on. He had a chance, a big chance to break Chang in the second game, but he didn't. So we're on serve. It's 2-1 in the first set. This is the Canadian Open from Toronto.
10 years ago today, they called us May, December. You with a flush of youth on your cheeks, and me with a hint of snow in my hair. And they laughed at our recklessness when we used words like love and forever. And on our 10th anniversary, on a night very much like tonight, with the clouds playing tag with the moon, December wants to thank you for bringing me May.
Tennis is a great game. All it takes is a little coordination. Footwork is important too. Plus, with tennis, the whole family can enjoy it together. Tennis is a game for everyone, even us.
These guys could be a dynasty in the mechanical, chemical kind of business, couldn't they? Chemical engineer and research chemist there for the occupation. 18 years. There's so many similarities. Grand Slam title. Chang has got one of those. Current ranking 19 and 24. Highest ranking, though, Chang has been at number 5 after he won the French championships. Their semi-final record, 2-2, 4-4. A lot of similarities, aren't there? This is Chang serving, game number 4. Trailing 2-1 on serve, first set, best of 3, semi-final of the Players Limited International. It's the Canadian Open title at stake here in Toronto.
That's all right. That's that error just then is the type of error that Pete Sampras is going to make, and that's okay because he's going for his shots. He's taking a chance. He was playing inside the baseline, trying to capitalize on his opportunity, and that's the style he's got to use to win. He'll make some mistakes.
Chang has been part of the USTA Junior Development Program, which I think has made a big difference to sport in the United States. I really do. He was the youngest player when he was just 15 years and 6 months to win a main draw match at the US Open back in '87. He beat Paul McNamee. Given a wild card in the tournament.
Pete Sampras was a member of that team as well, but right now he has his own coach, Joe Brandy, who is here watching on. Brandy has been a coach at Bollettieri's camp for a long while. I'll touch on that as the telecast goes on. Some interesting sidelights here.
30-15. Chang has been a U.S. Davis Cup player, of course. He played most of last year very successfully for the USA. Did not play against West Germany, to whom the U.S. lost in 1989. The U.S., of course, still alive in this year's competition. Will play Austria in Vienna in September on ESPN. And by the way, talking about team competition, Federation Cup from Atlanta is going on, and after our tennis here from Toronto, we'll be going down there for more coverage.
Pete Sampras won that point, but it's not really the style that's going to win him the match. He's got to move up just a little bit more so that he can take advantage. If he keeps just playing that style, eventually Michael Chang is going to say, all right, I'm not going to take any more chances. I'm not going to miss anymore, because he is so strong mentally. So Pete can win the occasional points that way, but he needs to get inside that baseline a little bit more.
Great shot, wasn't it? Gives him break point.
You know, the way he came running across to hit that forehand, and you can see his preparation is really good. It reminds me a little bit of some of the passing shots that his idol Rod Laver used to hit, running across and hitting forehand down the line passing shots. Top spin that way.
Break point. Chang holds on his deuce. Now, that's a terrible Rocket. He had a continental grip forehand, so mechanically there's a difference. I know what you mean in terms of result, but just for those who follow the technical aspects of the sport,
yeah, it's a little bit different, but the way he ran across to hit it was very similar. He whipped it down.